Hello, welcome to STV News. I am Shegun Ojumu. We begin with news that Justice Ijeoma Ojukwu of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has agreed to the request of Omoyele Sowore, the convener of #RevolutionNow, and his co-defendant Olawale Bakare for the variation of the conditions attached to the bill granted them. Justice Ijeoma Ojukwu waived the earlier requirement that one of Sowore's sureties deposits 50 million naira as security and reduced the amount attached to Bakare's bill from 50 million naira to 30 million naira. Justice Ojukwu said all other conditions should remain, stressing that the defendants refrain from participating in rallies due to the nature of the case. She adjourned the case to November 6th for the commencement of trial. They have been charged with, among others, a treasonable felony. President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Abuja today to attend a 3-day Russia-Africa summit in Sochi, Russia, from October the 23rd to the 25th. The summit will focus on exploring and expanding opportunities in security, trade and investment, science and technology, and gas production. During the summit, President Buhari, according to a statement by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, will meet with President Vladimir Putin of Russia to further strengthen relations in security, trade and investment and build partnership that will enhance Nigeria's huge gas potential. The summit, which will be attended by African heads of state, will bring fresh perspectives on some global issues and challenges like nuclear technology, nuclear energy development, digital transformation, environment, technical security, mining and steel, education, and of course agriculture, infrastructure and development strategies. Edward Onoja has been sworn in as the Deputy Governor of Kogi State on Monday. He was earlier screened by members of the State Assembly at the Assembly Complex in Lokoja. The swearing-in was performed by the Chief Judge of Kogi State, Justice Nasir Ajana. The State Assembly last Friday impeached Elder Simon Achuba as the Deputy to Governor Yahya Bello shortly after receiving the report of the panel set up to investigate allegations of gross misconduct against the former Deputy Governor. Mr. Achuba on Sunday declared his impeachment as unconstitutional, saying that he will challenge it in court. Mr. Onoja, who recently resigned as the Chief of Staff to the Governor, is the running mate to Governor Bello in the November 16th governorship election. And still on election matters, Senator Jeremiah Hussaini, the governorship candidate of the PDP in Plateau State during the 2019 election, has filed 21 grounds of appeal before the Court of Appeal in Jos, giving reasons why his petition asking the Elections Petitions Tribunal to overturn the victory of Governor Samuel Along should be upheld. Senator Hussaini, in a statement by his media aide, Yuljab Abraham, said on Monday that the legal team led by Mike Ozakome and Edward Pwajok and 10 other legal experts has filed a notice of appeal and formulated 21 grounds of appeal to overturn the October 2nd, 2019 verdict of the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, dismissing his petition. He said the governorship candidate of the PDP, General Hussaini, maintains that Samuel Along was not qualified in the first place to have contested the election into the office of Governor of Plateau State because he supplied false information to INEC in his Form CF 100. The House of Representatives has faulted President Muhammadu Buhari's refusal to assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed in the 8th Assembly. Chairman House Committee on Electoral Matters, Aishatu Duku, made this known in Abuja at the inaugural meeting of the committee. Correspondent Grace Ike reports.
The Committee on Electoral Matters is saddled with the implementation of electoral acts and all electoral processes in the country, studying activities of electoral body, recommend assistance or modification, oversight the activities of the Independent National Electoral Commission, among others. Representative Aisha Duku is worried that despite efforts by the National Assembly to give the country a new electoral law in the last assembly, the president refused to give assent to the bill, citing various reasons.
However, the president declined assent due to some lacuna or drafting issues in some of the clauses of the bill and advised that those observations be addressed. The President's observations were accordingly addressed, and the bill was again passed in December 2018 and later in April 2019, following another decline to assent by the President inter alia.
According to the lawmaker, the Electoral Act Amendment Bill is still hanging, hence the need to give the bill the desired attention to improve on the country's electoral processes.
It also requires that a number of fundamental shortcomings are still to be addressed for the legislative framework to be fully in line with universal and regional standards for election.
Representative Aisha Duku used the occasion to assure Nigerians that the Ninth Assembly would accord priority to the amendment of the Electoral Act to ensure that elections in the country meet international standards.
I also wish to assure all Nigerians that the House Committee on Electoral Matters is fully ready and will do everything within its powers to improve and strengthen the conduct of elections in Nigeria. Even now, it has already, you can see in your file, you have a simplified electoral act. That is courtesy of Black. So they have already started working with us.
Remains to be seen how the President will give urgent attention to the bill when reintroduced by the Ninth House under the leadership of Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila. From the National Assembly, Grace Ike, STV News.
In another development, the House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Upstream says the federal government must put in place mechanisms to end recurrent incidents of petrol tanker explosions in Nigeria. Chairman of the committee made this known at a budget defense in Abuja. Correspondent Grace Ike again reports.
House Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Musa Sarki Ada, made the plea when the Minister of State for Petroleum, Timothy Silva, appeared before the Joint Committee on Upstream, Downstream and Gas at the National Assembly. Questions abound about what the federal government is doing to stop the disturbing trend. The Chairman House Committee insists that this must stop. Representative Sarki Ada suggests that the activities of tanker drivers must be monitored henceforth with more staff employed.
The tanker drivers were pipeline vandalization, the tanker explosions, all this. If actually you want to monitor them effectively, the current number of staff you have are not adequate for you to do it. So please have it at the back of your mind. When you come to engage us on your other budget, this will continue to feature.
This is coming days after explosions in Onitsha, Anambra, Lagos, Benue and other parts of the country have left scores dead and many injured. Minister of State for Petroleum is giving assurances that the department will embark on training and retraining of tanker drivers.
The training of tanker drivers is something that's already in the plan in DPR. We agree that it is not just about the condition of the tankers. You also have to train the tanker drivers, and that's already in plan with DPR to train our tanker drivers.
The minister explained that the transportation of oil through pipelines would have been the preferred option, but for the rising speed of pipeline vandalism in the region.
Our pipelines are frequently vandalized. We cannot move product or even crude on the lines. It is not just a ministry issue, it is more of a security issue.
All said and done will return to query what the federal government is doing to stop the disturbing trend. From the National Assembly, Grace Ike, STV News.
You're watching STV News, reaching live from Abuja. We'll be back with more reports after the short break. Do stay with us. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has condemned the move by some commercial banks to increase the unstructured supplementary service data fee from October 21st, 2019. Mr. Emefiele said this contradicts the Apex Bank's drive of deepening financial inclusion. He stated this during a press briefing with journalists in Washington, D.C. Correspondent Chinemerem Joseph has details of that.
The Unstructured Supplementary Service Data, popularly called USSD, is a banking service introduced on telecommunication channels to ease access to financial services. Various mobile networks have codes used in accessing these services. Very popular is the use of these codes to transfer cash through the mobile phone, attracting varied fees amongst network providers, with the highest being 20 naira per session. Telecommunications network service providers, in connivance with the banks, however, plan to increase this fee to 12 naira per minute spent on the USSD channel. This, of course, means incurring more cost if you have to deal with poor internet service and increasing the financial exclusion rate, as many Nigerians will begin to find the USSD channel unattractive.
The use of USSD is a sunk cost. What I mean sunk cost is that it's not an additional cost on the infrastructure of the telecom companies. I appeal to them that they should please indeed review this downwards, and they refuse.
The governor also says commercial banks must strike businesses with telecommunication companies who will engage in such financial services at a very low or, if possible, no cost to bank customers.
I have told the banks that we will not allow this to happen. The banks are the people who give this business to the telecom companies. And I leave the banks and the telecom companies to engage. We would like, and I have told the banks that they have to move their business, move their traffic to a telecom company that is ready to provide it at the lowest possible, if not zero cost.
This development has already started eliciting reactions from bank customers who are condemning the move. Some commercial banks have denied this, while some telecom network service providers have already sent out notification messages to their customers. For now, the Apex Bank says it will ensure that banks do not go ahead with the plan. From Washington, D.C., Chinemerem Joseph, STV News.
Great reporting by Chinemerem Joseph all the way from Washington, D.C. Now, still in the economy, Nigeria is expecting about $3 billion from the World Bank to develop her power sector. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, during a press briefing, announced this as one of the major fallouts from discussions with the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank at the annual meetings in Washington, D.C. She was in company of the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and other key economic leaders who attended the meeting. Business correspondent Chinemerem Joseph again reports.
This press briefing by Nigeria's delegation to the IMF World Bank annual meetings brings to a climax the event. The team was led by the Minister of Finance in company of the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and heads of some economic agencies. Nigeria participated with the aim of discussing and finding solutions to a number of issues that have continued to slow down economic growth. This challenge both IMF and the World Bank have confirmed no country is insulated from. The Apex Bank governor believes that if slow economic growth is allowed to persist, projected growth might be elusive.
Since there are risks arising from heavy dependence on the oil sector, there's a need for us to begin to continue to focus on diversifying the economy.
A number of bilateral agreements were reached. The federal government's interest in ensuring the power sector becomes more operational led to the request for a $3 to $4 billion loan from the World Bank. The United Kingdom is also willing to support Nigeria's infrastructure development through a Naira-denominated bond.
The importance of such a bond is that it protects the country, the issuer, from exchange rate exposure. There is some portion of it that will be for the transmission network, and if we're able to expand the amount to 4 billion, the additional 1 billion is for the distribution network. So it will help us to exit the subsidy that is now inherent in the power sector.
The World Bank also plans to support the Lake Chad region with a $170 loan. This is to help solve issues around security and infrastructure deficit. This, however, brings up the need for cooperation between border countries and the effect of Nigeria's closed land borders.
I would appeal that before it is opened, some firm decisions and agreements must be reached, where protocols must be obeyed.
Going forward, economic watchers rarely expect much from the government. They believe words must be matched with action to ensure that sustainable economic growth is achieved in no distant time. From the IMF World Bank meetings in Washington, D.C., Chinemere Joseph, STV News.
And the news there, I am Shagun Ojumu. Many thanks for watching. From me and the rest of the team here, goodbye.